case stemming from Flint, Michigan's water crisis is now reaching top leadership. Two emergency managers appointed to the state to marshal the city through its financial troubles are charged now with felonies. This all started in April 2014 when the city of Flint began to draw water from the Flint River in an effort to save money. But residents soon complained about the smell and about rashes and other health problems. In January 2015, Detroit offered Flint the chance to reconnect to its water system. Flint leaders said no. September 2015, doctors urged the city to stop using the river water after finding high levels of lead in children. 5 days later, Michigan Governor Rick Snyder pledged action, the first time the state acknowledged a problem. January of this year, Governor Snyder declared a state of emergency, and the National Guard started handing out water and filters. This month, researchers report improvement, but residents are continuing to use those filters. And yesterday, Michigan's Attorney General said he's going to file criminal charges against those emergency managers, saying they put cost savings ahead of public health.
The tragedy that we know as the Flint water crisis did not occur by accident. No. Flint was a casualty of arrogance, disdain, and a failure of management. An absence of accountability, shirking responsibility. We will proceed to deliver justice and hold those accountable who broke the law. Period.
A legal panel, Yodit Tawaldi, former prosecutor and criminal defense attorney, Carrie Salage, former Bronx assistant DA, criminal defense attorney, and member of the Nassau County, New York legislature. It's great to have you both. Felony, though, Yodit, what do you need to charge somebody with a felony?
Well, intent. And here, the most critical charge that these two emergency managers are facing is the false pretenses, and that is the mischaracterization of a fact in order to acquire money or property. So was their intent to acquire money? According to what we know, these two emergency managers obtained some sort of bond with the understanding that we were going to use this money for a cleanup, when really they were using that money to support this new pipeline. Intent. We also understand that this investigation has been going for quite some time, and they've been charging lower-level officials. And I do believe that some of these individuals are cooperating with the investigation and officials, and they may be providing some information to support these charges.
So, Carrie, when our viewers here, well, they were trying to save money. I mean, if the original intent was we're trying to save money, so we're going to think about a different water source, that doesn't sound like something criminal. So where does it become criminal when it goes from trying to save money to trying to do something that's misleading in a way?
There's an expression, you buy cheap, you buy twice. Perhaps they were trying to make the best decision under tight financial considerations. However, to say that they intended to poison the water system is something else. It could be simply a difference of opinion how to address moving water, whether it was a pipeline or a pond. Perhaps that could be an adequate defense here. But to actually say that they had the intent to poison is such a very high level of a mens rea that is very difficult to prove in a court of law.
That's what I'm curious about, Yodit. What about, I mean, if they had something that said they didn't care that people were getting poisoned and that they were saving money, is that what a prosecutor needs to show that they're guilty of these charges?
Let's look at the circumstantial evidence, okay? We also don't know, again, what these lower officials who are also charged are saying and how they're cooperating with the investigation. But when you continue to make decisions, when you know that this water is full of lead, you had one of the emergency managers overrule a vote of 7-1 by city council members saying that they wanted to stop using the river water and continue, or at least reconnect with the Detroit water source. When you overruled that, after the EPA found dangerous levels of lead in the water that pretty much render the water hazardous waste, how can you not think that that's criminal?
So what about
it goes beyond poor judgment.
What do you think, Carrie?
And that's a valid point. However, perhaps they were relying upon information that showed that the new water source could support the city. Again, it's one thing to say that they are criminally responsible, and it's something else to say that they could be civil responsible. Perhaps the solution here is a fund to help these young children that have health issues now.
Well, I'm curious about that, actually. Yodit, what about that? Because there are politics at play when we see what's happening in Michigan. Obviously, there are politics at play at a lot of different levels when it comes to actually trying to solve this issue. But what about the people that have been hurt by this, by the children that did get lead poisoning? What about the legal repercussions for them? How do they get justice?
I mean, look, it's so sad and horrendous to think about the lifelong effects these kids are now going to have to deal with. So, yes, they're going to go to civil court, okay, and try to get some sort of financial award. But what can that really do for someone who's going to have to deal with lifelong? Once you have lead in your system, there's no getting rid of it.
But what could someone being held in prison do for these health issues?
Accountability, because it goes beyond poor judgment. When you keep making decisions, when you know there's
these
studies
are the low-level
and testing.
players. Perhaps other higher-level players in the government are responsible, and these people were just following orders. Perhaps someone else is responsible.
And I believe that that's what they're doing right now. They're going for the bottom of the totem pole, and they're moving their way up. And the governor needs to be held accountable, and he needs to be charged at the end of the day.
That's going to be interesting. How far up does it go? And we'd love to have you both back to talk a little bit more about it. It's a fascinating case. And we should mention Flint water, again, still not approved to be just to get it out of the water, out of the tap. You actually have to still filter it. So it's something we're going to continue to watch in the new year. Yodit Carrier, great to have you. Thank you.
Thank you.